guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm filming in a different room today because the room that I'm normally in is my kitchen and my washer and dryer in that room, and they're both going now, so it would be way too loud if we were in there. So we're just gonna deal with it. Also, all the books back there, like I have more. There's some on the bottom, and then there's another bookshelf. Those are like all my like pregnancy and birth and breastfeeding and everything, like all the books that I have read. Anyways, let's get into the movie. So today I wanted to talk about Grant's home birth story. I really wanted to do this video for a while, and I think what I'm gonna do is put some pictures at the end of the video of our birth. I don't have any videos of the birth, but I do have some pictures, so I'll insert those at the end. I want to start out by saying that this home birth was planned. We had a midwife throughout my whole prenatal care. We wouldn't have been able to have a home birth if I was considered high risk, but I wasn't. So luckily we were able to give birth to him upstairs in our bedroom. So you'll be able to see some of those pictures at the end. Anyways, so to start off, his labor was only 6 hours long, which literally during the birth at one point, I was like, you know, like, where are we in the whole like birth experience? And they were like, you're almost done. And I'm like, you're lying to me. There's no way I can be almost done. I didn't know like exactly how long it had been, but I knew that it wasn't really long. Anyways, so the first thing that happened, I was 37 weeks when I gave birth to Grant. So my husband and I were at my mother-in-law's house, and we were having dinner. We were actually having like a huge dinner. I don't remember what we were having. I want to say it was like some type of pasta dish. I don't remember, but I was like ravenous and starving. We were eating, and all of a sudden I was kind of like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom, and I was like, this is like amniotic fluid. And I knew that my mother-in-law was gonna be like really excited, but I didn't want her to get like too excited, because then I feel like it would make me excited, and then like I would start getting nervous. So I kind of like went up to her and, oh no, wait, my husband actually wasn't with me. My husband was working at that point. Yeah, I had just like gone over there for dinner. Sorry, it was a while ago. Anyways, so I kind of like, I snuck out of the bathroom and I went up to my mother-in-law and I was like, I think my water just broke. Can you bring me to my house? And I remember thinking like, I just want to get to my house. Like, I just want to get there. Throughout the day, I was having like light contractions, but I didn't really think anything of it. Like now looking back, they definitely weren't light, but I guess maybe I have a higher pain threshold. I don't know, but I just like kept working through them until like I kind of couldn't, or obviously until my water started like trickling. But I was in labor for most of the day, but didn't really know it, kind of thing. So they had just bought a new car. So her husband put down a garbage bag so that I wouldn't ruin the car seat. So she drove me home, and on our way there, we're calling my midwife, we're calling my husband, we're calling my mother. And we get to the house, and I'm just like, okay, I just want to like go and sit upstairs in our bed. Like I just want to get in bed. So I like changed, got in bed, and was just like laying flat, like on the bed, just not moving, like waiting for everybody to arrive because my mother-in-law was there. And so I'm just like waiting, and my husband arrives, and then my mother arrives. And like right when my mother arrived, I got like really emotional, and I was just like, I felt so much more comfortable that she was there. And my midwife also arrived too, and she was kind of like setting up her stuff and, you know, asking me how I was. And I was still just like laying flat on the bed, just kind of like, I'm just not gonna move, just like going through the contractions. They were definitely getting stronger, but like they weren't really, really intense, but they were starting to get there. So then my midwife was like, this is really weird that you're like laying on your back. This should be like really uncomfortable. You know, like maybe if you move around a little bit, like things will start happening. And my mom was like, yeah, you know, you should move around. And my husband was just like, you know, making sure I was comfortable and like stuff like that. And he was just like right by me the whole time. So I kind of just like went and turned on my side, and all of a sudden my water literally popped like a balloon. Like, we heard it, I felt it. It was such a gush that I was like, oh my God, like something happened. But my midwife was like, oh, that's just your water breaking. And I was like, what? And then I literally felt his head just totally engage, and it was just like it was like a robotic thing. It was so weird. And the next contraction I had was like you know, like really intense. And so I was like walking around our bedroom and trying to like go through the contractions, and my mother was there, and my husband and my midwife and my mother-in-law, and they were all just like supporting me. And so I was kind of like laboring on the floor, like every contraction I was kind of like getting up on all fours, just sort of like supporting myself and getting through the contraction. I'm not sure how far apart they were. We really didn't like monitor that, but my midwife was still making notes the whole time. She was still listening to the heartbeat the whole time. She was taking my blood pressure. She was making sure I drank at least a sip of water like every hour or every half hour. I can't even remember, but it was definitely like they made me drink water. She was also like helping me with breathing and like different positions. And I kind of was just laboring on the floor for, I feel like, most of it, just like getting through the contractions, walking around. They did have the tubs set up downstairs and asked me if I wanted to go downstairs in the tub, and I said absolutely not. Like, there was no way I was gonna go down the stairs. But my contractions were definitely really close together and pretty intense. So it was probably like 4 or 5 hours of that. And then I could feel that I needed to start pushing, and I was like, okay, like this feels weird. And so they got me on our bed. I started pushing, and it was like the weirdest sensation ever, but I kept being like, this shouldn't be time to push. Like, I have like another 24 hours of birth that's like supposed to happen, like textbook wise, you know, this isn't supposed to happen yet. But everybody was like, no, you're almost done. And I think I literally pushed like 10 times, maybe 12, and he like shot right out. There was definitely some ring of fire in there, but he just came right out, and my midwife put him right on my chest. And it was just like the sweetest moment ever. I don't even know, like you can't even describe like your first time like seeing your first child. It's so just surreal. And he was so beautiful, and he cried, and he was nice and pink, and we just let him kind of adjust on my stomach for a while and waited for his umbilical cord to stop pumping. And then my midwife clamped it, and my husband cut the cord, and both my mother and my mother-in-law were like kind of on the sides, and my husband was like behind me, like supporting me, because I was sitting as I was pushing. And we were all just like enjoying him, and my midwife was checking me and making sure everything was okay. And she checked him and gave him the vitamin K shot. We didn't do any of the eye ointment, but he did get the vitamin K shot. And she weighed him and took all his vitals, and then handed him back to me, and we were able to breastfeed, and she kind of helped me with that, and pretty much just made sure that I was okay. I did get to take a shower, and she made sure I was eating and drinking, and then like she pretty much left. She was probably there for like 2 or 3 hours afterwards. She did clean everything up. The bed had separate sheets, so it had actually two sheets on it. So she just ripped off the top sheet, threw it into our laundry, and the bottom sheet was there, and we were able to just like go right to sleep. And she kind of like tucked us in, which was so sweet. And it was just the best birth I could have ever asked for. And both my husband and I have both had like so much empowerment from it. And my husband talks about it all the time, and talks about how we've had a home birth, and everybody's like, wait, what? Like, I don't understand. But it was like the sweetest thing ever. And then the next morning we woke up, and it was so nice because we were like at our home, and everybody came over and saw him, and we were just enjoying having him at home and not having to like just be in the hospital. Obviously, if we had needed to go to the hospital, we would have gone, but we really didn't need to. And my midwife came over and did all the paperwork needed for his birth certificate, and took some of his blood for those little like splotch papers. I can't remember what those are called. And then she did his feet. So it was literally the best experience ever. And I really hope that if you're interested in a home birth, you really like look into it and do your research and find that midwife who will help you do that, because it's so empowering, it's so good, and it definitely isn't for everybody, but it is for some people, and I think it's definitely worth looking into. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna insert some pictures of Grant's home birth with some music, but please subscribe and like this video if you haven't already, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying these videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.